अब आते हैं about the elephant in the room, SNG, solid
let's
natural gas.
let's go to the heavy hitting stuff, huh?
हाँ, now the big thing, okay? You converted like more than 15 million years, a stuff that takes more than 15 million years into 15 minutes. I mean, how did that happen? That's a crazy number when you think about it. Like 15, kaha 15 million years ke upar, and then there
Correct.
is 15 minutes,
Correct.
right?
Minutes.
So
Correct.
Yeah.
tell us the story about it. Like
Correct.
start from why and how did you go to NUS
Correct.
from CSIR, right?
Correct.
And I'll be going on asking things like how you met
Yeah,
Selena
sure.
and all of that.
I'll
Yeah.
do that. But just prior to that, and you'll get to understand why I'm saying this first. So, यही मैं तुमको बोल रहा था कि why when you have holistic development and you know how to represent yourself in a very eloquent manner, why it makes an impact, right? So, and not to really pat myself on the back here, but this sort of representation, right? कि आप millions of years को 15 minutes में कर रहे हो. That's what makes the impact. Okay, I mean, it's not to say that I'm the first one to do something that is impactful, but how you represent your work is what makes the true impact in the mind of the layman or even the mind of the investor. तो तो वही जानना है. Like, see, कोई अगर है who is very good technically but doesn't know how to represent himself or herself in a very very impactful or eloquent manner, उसके दिमाग में नहीं आएगा कि this is the impact of my work. This is how I should present my work so that it makes the statement. So
The sellability part of it.
yes, how do I sell my work, right? How do I
Yeah.
make it very very interesting to the layman? So that's something that that's exactly what I was speaking about before. When you know how to represent yourself better, huh? So I'll start with telling you guys what gas hydrates exactly are. So let me just get that understanding first. Um, so what happens is that you have plants and animals under the seabed. Sea. So when these plants and animals die, they decompose and they turn into methane. So समुद्र के नीचे what you have is a high pressure and a low temperature. Okay. So at that pressure and temperature condition, when your methane that is coming from your plants and animals that are dying is comes in contact with the water crystallizes to form something like ice. ठीक है.
Okay.
एंड हम लोग केमिस्ट्री में स्कूल में क्या पढ़े थे कि आइस का माइक्रोस्कोपिक स्ट्रक्चर इज वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स अरेंजिंग देमसेल्व्स इनटू केज लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स, राइट? तो वही होता है. योर वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स अरेंज देमसेल्व्स इनटू केज लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स, बट इंस्टेड ऑफ द केजेस बीइंग एम्प्टी, नाउ द केजेस आर फिल्ड विद द मीथेन मॉलिक्यूल्स.
Okay.
So this process has been happening over millions and millions of years. And millions of years से हो के now you have a huge resource of untapped natural gas. So the resource is so high that we estimate that even if we recover about 10% of this resource, that is enough for the world's energy needs for the next 100 years.
Like 10% of this natural gas hydrates that are
Of
there in
natural
the
gas
sea.
hydrates that are present naturally under the sea or in permafrost, under permafrost in your cold countries.
Permafrost क्या है?
It's like the ice layer that you see
अच्छा.
in cold countries. Let's say Arctic Circle पे आप हो या पे अलास्का में हो, वहाँ पे जो the ice layer that you see on top, the snow layer that you see on the last permafrost, उसके नीचे you have the natural gas as hydrates, and you also have that under the seabed. ठीक है. तो पूरा दुनिया में जितना भी है, if we recover 10% of that, then we can meet our energy needs for the next 100 years. That is the estimate. Okay.
Okay.
So ये होता है naturally. Now what are we doing? We are trying to make these natural gas hydrates in the laboratory. So now we have to move on to the topic of discussion, which is natural gas storage techniques in our day-to-day life.
अच्छा,
वो
इससे
क्या?
पहले एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन है कि ये जो नेचुरल गैस हाइड्रेट्स है, लाइक इनका स्टेट क्या है? दे आर लाइक हाउ डू यू डिफाइन
Solid.
द स्टेट? दे आर सॉलिड, दे आर
Solid.
जो
They are
नेचुरली
solid.
हो रहे हैं,
They
दे आर
are
सॉलिड.
solid. They are solid. When you look at them, if you look at them, you will not be able to distinguish natural gas hydrates from ice or snow.
Okay, and are
You
they
will not.
like, are they visible to naked eyes?
Of course, they are visible. They look just like ice or snow. They look just like ice or snow. That's why I'm saying the
अच्छा.
water crystallizes to form something like ice. ठीक है. तुमको ice ही दिखेगा.
अच्छा.
अगर मैं ice रख दिया, natural gas hydrate रख दिया, you will not be able to tell the difference.
हाँ,
or let's say
चलिए.
snow is a more accurate. Snow रख दिया और natural gas hydrate रख दिया, you will not be able to say the difference.
हाँ.
But
So, matlab, my natural gas is getting so compressed that it turns into solid state,
it's
or
not
is it that कि
no, it's not
ice के
compressing.
अंदर gas है?
No. Gas is not compressing. देखो
Okay.
क्या हो रहा है? You have two things. You don't have just the gas. You have water and you have gas. ठीक है. अब तुम जब प्रेशर और टेम्परेचर पे जा रहे हो, हाई प्रेशर एंड लो टेम्परेचर, वो वाटर इज सॉलिडिफाइंग टू फॉर्म समथिंग लाइक आइस.
Okay.
The water is your host lattice, host structure. Water is solidifying to form something like ice, और उसके अंदर में गैस ट्रैप हो जा रहा है.
Okay.
ठीक
Cool.
है. सो let me try to explain to you this way. अगर मैं नेचुरल गैस हाइड्रेट को अपने हाथ पे रखा and I burn that, it will burn because you have the gas inside, right? You have the gas inside, it will burn. ठीक है. But you are never going to feel, your hand is never going to feel hot because your hand is only going to feel the water. दो चीज है. You have water and you have gas. Physical reaction होके it is forming a lattice जिसमें gas is trapped. And
Okay.
and at the end of the day, you are seeing something like this. ये हो गया.
Wow.
ठीक है.
Okay.
You are seeing something like this. ये हो गया तुम्हारा गैस हाइड्रेट. अभी इसको मैंने अपने हाथ पे रखा और मैंने अपने हाथ पे रख के ऐसे जला दिया, तो ये जलेगा. अभी यहाँ से आग जलेगा, but your hand is only going to feel the water.
Okay.
समझ रहे हो? So that's the idea behind this entire stuff solid that we call gas hydrate.
और ये कितना बड़ा हो सकता है, गौरव? Like how big
It
it
can
can
be
be?
anything. मतलब ऐसा तो कोई, I can't give you any figure.
As a chunk of.
It can be a chunk. It can be a huge
Okay.
chunk. Yes, it can be a
Okay.
huge chunk. ठीक है. तो
You were talking about that you were trying
yeah,
to make it in the lab.
we know that under the high pressure and low temperature this happens. Our idea is to go and do this in the laboratory. We want to do this artificially because I know that if I get that pressure and temperature, I will be able to do this even in the lab. अगर वो naturally हो रहा है, if I get that temperature and pressure, I will also be able to make it artificially in the lab. ठीक है. So what are your techniques for natural gas storage at present? You have LNG, liquefied natural gas, and you have CNG, that is compressed natural gas. ठीक है. So liquefied natural gas requires minus 160 degrees C to be a liquid and to remain a liquid. CNG requires 250 bar pressure to be stored. Okay. LNG के लिए you have to go down to that severe temperature, and LNG इतना low temperature होता है कि it keeps boiling off. Your gas keeps boiling off. So you cannot store LNG for long periods of time. आपको आपके टर्मिनल में आएगा LNG, then you have to move it on within 14 days. सिंगापुर में it is 7 days. 7 days में you have to move on the LNG.
Okay.
और CNG अगर आप 250 बार में स्टोर कर रहे हो तो you can understand how big of a safety threat that would pose. 250 बार is like
Yeah, मतलब अगर explode हो गया तो मतलब
it's a bomb, right?
Yeah.
ठीक है. तो now with SNG, जो हम लोग इसको solidified natural gas बोलते हैं, और it is also known as gas hydrate. Solidified natural gas से we are trying to address these two issues कि high pressure और low temperature. अब हम लोग कर रहे हैं इसको laboratory में. We want to do this in the laboratory. It's not a new idea. The idea has not been invented by us. ये आइडिया सबसे पहले आया था 1940 में किसी बंदे को. ठीक है. उसका नाम था बेनेस. उसको आया था आइडिया 1940 में कि मैं ये करूंगा. उसने कुछ आइडिया दिया, then it died down. किसी ने किया नहीं. 1990 में there was another guy called Goodmanson. उसके दिमाग में फिर से आया कि भाई मैं करूंगा ये चीज. So then he tried to do something, and they were not able to accomplish a lot. ठीक है. The issue is, as you can imagine, nature में it takes millions of years. तो laboratory में क्यों हो जाएगा जल्दी? It shouldn't be. It doesn't work that way. कि laboratory में मैं करूंगा तो it will be very fast. So there were a number of issues that they faced. उसके बाद this has also been picked up by a lot of industrial players. There was a player called BG Group जिसने एक gas to solid technology बनाया था. There was a group in Japan जहाँ पे एक consortium था, एक ship company का, and a power company and some laboratory researchers, some university researchers who actually managed to do a sort of 1 ton per day plant on this technology. But the issue
SNG technology.
SNG technology. But
Achha.
the issue that they had was that they were never able to convert all of the water that they're using. So let's say they are using 100 liters of water, और 100 में से सिर्फ 15 liter water convert कर पा रहे थे.
15 liter.
15 लीटर 15 85 लीटर उनका वेस्ट जा रहा है, and they are not able to convert it in a within 15 minutes as we have done, so they are still taking time, right? Abhi, and then there was a group in Korea who also tried to do a lot of things per day, a lot of things, but they were also not very successful. So मुद्दा ये आ रहा है, पॉइंट ये आ रहा है, what we are observing here is that there are three main issues. Number one is you need high pressure and low temperature. ठीक है, you need the pressure and temperature that you see under the sea. तो ये चाहिए तुमको. दूसरा है कि it is not a very fast process. It is inherently very very gradual. It takes a lot of time for this to happen. ठीक है. And number three हम लोग क्या देख रहे हैं कि it is not easy to store it either. अगर आप इसको फॉर्म करने के लिए आपको इतना प्रेशर और टेम्परेचर लग रहा है, देन व्हाई वुड स्टोरिंग ऑल ऑफ अ सडन बी सो इजी, राइट? तो उसको स्टेबल रहने के लिए भी उतना सम सॉर्ट ऑफ प्रेशर और टेम्परेचर तो उसको चाहिए ही ना. सो ये तीन इशू हमको दिख रहे हैं. तो इन व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड दिस वर्क, हमने सोचा कि हाउ डू वी फर्स्ट टैकल द टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर इशू. अभी गैस हाइड्रेट में एक रूल ऑफ थंब है कि द लार्जर द मॉलिक्यूल साइज ऑफ द गेस्ट मॉलिक्यूल, the larger the size of the guest molecule, the lower the pressure required to form the hydrate.
Guest molecule इधर क्या है? What is the guest molecule?
Guest तो आपका मीथेन है ना यहाँ पे.
अच्छा.
Guest जो
गैस है, जो ट्रैप हो रहा है, हाँ, ओके.
ट्रैप हो रहा है वो गेस्ट मॉलिक्यूल है. I'm going to be a little bit of technical jargon here, but
नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, प्लीज डू.
वो मॉलिक्यूल जितना बड़ा है उतना the lower pressure you need to stabilize the gas hydrate. ठीक है, क्योंकि वो गैस वो मॉलिक्यूल रहता है तो then the water cage is like yeah I have some nice connection with the person inside, तो now I can be stable. उसका पर्सनल ग्रोथ हो गया उधर. ठीक है, but so the larger the gas molecule, the lower pressure you need. So we are like अच्छा देखते हैं, can we actually put some other gas molecule along with methane and try to form the gas at a hydrate at a lower pressure? And we were able to. So we came up with this chemical called tetrahydrofuran, THF. THF, we are seeing that we are able to form the gas at a very low pressure, hydrate at a very low pressure. And THF क्या कर रहा है? It is also driving the entrapping of the methane. So it is actually not just acting to reduce the pressure, it is also enhancing the rate of the methane uptake. But the issue is that it will definitely decrease your capacity of methane, because the THF big molecule is also going and sitting inside the gas hydrate. So now you have to see whether you want to be able to use this trade-off. Okay, you are able to form at a much faster rate, but you get a lesser gas uptake. Now this is good because पहले आपको 10% ही आप gas uptake मिल रहा था. You are not able to convert 90% of your water. यहाँ पे you are getting more than 60% water conversion. So you are still getting more gas inside than you were getting earlier. ठीक है? अभी THF के साथ भी we are at, let's say, हमने उसको कम करके we brought it down from a very very slow process and we brought it down to an hour and 10 minutes. यहाँ तक हमने ला दिया. THF का इशू ये है कि it is a very toxic chemical. अगर आप industrial setting में कर रहे हो, if you want to use tons and tons of it, it is not a very safe thing to do. ठीक है? So we were always on the lookout for other chemicals that are very very that might have that same sort of effect as THF, but can we look at something else, but should not be that toxic. So then we stumbled upon this one chemical called 1,3 dioxolane, and it is not just stumbling upon, it's a lot to do with intuition that you develop over.
Is this basically what you call L-tryptophan?
No, I'm getting that. So because there's two chemicals in that we are using to get that effect, so we stumble upon this one chemical called dioxolane that we abbreviate as diox. It's just intuition. It has a similar structure to THF, but it is not as sort of toxic or as volatile as THF. तो हमने उसको यूज किया. We're seeing similar activity. अभी जब मैं now you go back a little bit to my PhD days. जब मैं PhD में काम कर रहा था, I was working on a technique to extract the natural gas from the natural resource, from the natural gas hydrate resource. उसको भी I was working on techniques to try and catalyze that extraction process, कि मैं कितना जल्दी निकाल सकता हूँ. ठीक है? तो मेरे को लगा कि what if I add some chemicals inside, and I needed to add benign chemicals that would not harm your environment.
Correct.
तो ट्रिप्टोफैन क्या है? ट्रिप्टोफैन इज एन अमीनो एसिड. हमारे बॉडी में अमीनो एसिड रहता है. It's a building block of proteins.
Hmm.
So amino acid is never going to have any toxic effects on the environment.
Okay.
That's something that we have in our body. It's something that we consume all the time. ठीक है? So मैंने tryptophan use किया and I use it for some other purpose. But बगल में मैंने एक मीथेन के साथ experiment लगा के देखा. I was like, मैं देखता हूँ ये formation में क्या करता है. And I saw that there was a real catalytic sort of effect that it had. It really increased the rate of methane hydrate formation in my
Okay.
trial experiment at NCL. But NCL में ना I couldn't pursue this any further. So it was always in the back of my head कि यार कभी ये
अच्छा, so the seed of this experiment you had done it at NCL.
NCL में CSIR
अच्छा.
में मेरे दिमाग
And you
में
came across this by accident, like
नहीं,
it
not
was
by
just like,
accident यार, not by accident, not by accident. I was looking at benign chemicals
okay,
कि कौन से ऐसे केमिकल है जो मरीन एनवायरनमेंट बिल्कुल भी इफेक्ट नहीं करेगा. So when
अच्छा,
you come across proteins, you come across amino acids, उस तरीका से I came across this.
Okay.
तो
okay,
वहाँ पे मेरा था, there was a different project where I had to identify chemicals. So I had made like a list of 1,000 chemicals, and उसमें से shortlist कर करके came upon 20. One of those was L-tryptophan. That's how I figured out L-tryptophan. And it was always in the back of my mind कि कभी एक मीथेन के साथ करके देखना है for the formation and for the SNG technology. तो यहाँ पे when we were doing the dioxylin part, we were like, okay, dioxylin is giving some really good results. तो मेरा एक मास्टर स्टूडेंट था and he had to do a project. तो मैंने उसको बोला एक काम कर, tryptophan खरीद के लेके आ सिग्मा ऑल्ड्रिच से. So he bought some tryptophan, L-tryptophan, and I told him, okay, you use this along with the dioxolin and you tell me what happens. So उसने experiment किया. He brought me the results. I was like, भाई हो गया, we are there, हो गया. So
अच्छा,
he brought me the result. I'm telling you, it sounds super fantastical, but that's exactly how it happens in scientific research when you have the breakthrough, right? I look at the result, I'm seeing that we are getting about 90 volumes of gas uptake and 90 volumes of gas per volume of hydrate gas uptake. And just to give you an idea, the theoretical limit is 115. The
theoretical limit is 115. मतलब I didn't get
115.
that.
So any gas storage technology is going to be dictated by how much gas it stores,
How much?
how much gas it is able to store. कि आप कितना
Okay,
कितना
हाँ,
आपके energy density कितना हो रहा है. How
correct.
much gas are you able to store? So
Per volume.
for our approach for gas hydrates, the theoretical limit that we can do is 115 volumes of methane per volume of gas hydrate,
Okay,
per volume of methane hydrate.
okay.
Okay. So theoretical limit is 115, or this guy brings me the result and I'm looking at 90 volumes within 12 minutes. I'm like, dude, this is just, we there, man, we there. So then I went to Praveen's room. I was like, yeah, prof, look at this. This is 90 volumes in 12 minutes. And we got really excited. So then we started planning what to do about it. Of course, you have to then go back. Your excitement has to die down. You have to do the repeat experiments. You have to see कि भाई ये fluke तो नहीं था, or was there something wrong with the experiment.
हाँ,
But I knew, like the seed was always there in my mind कि यार this chemical can do something. It can
okay.
really help out. And people have had the idea of using chemicals to promote these reactions for a long time. People use surfactants. They love using surfactants in the gas related community. Surfactant क्या होता है? Soaps, right? Sodium dodecyl sulfate. So surfactants का problem है कि they are also really good as promoters, really good to enhance the rate of gas uptake. But उससे क्या होता है? When you do these reactions, or because you also have water in there, it forms a huge amount of foam. That foam is incredibly difficult to deal with. So it process operation just totally impossible हो जाता है with that foam. When I was doing my PhD, that's the first thing I was introduced to, surfactants. And I always thought, यार इसको तो change करना ही है. This is not happening. This will never happen. And I'm very proud to say that now amino acids in our community are the most sought after kinetic promoters.
Okay.
And I am very happy that one of my works are definitely one of the pioneering sort of works that has helped bring amino acids to the fore for our gas-added community. So yes, and the best thing is that it's only 300 ppm. The amount you use is only 300 ppm. That's all you need for such a cataclysmic sort of promotion to happen.
300 ppm of what? 300 ppm of
Amino acid, the L-tryptophan.
L-tryptophan.
Only 300 ppm of L-tryptophan is needed to get the reaction time from 1 hour to 12 minutes.
Hi, this is Tunir. We hope that you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Please do feel free to let us know your thoughts, your ideas on the same in the comment section. If you enjoyed our video, please do like and share it as much as possible. And of course, please do subscribe to Orgasm. Thank you.